Wow. Okay, friends. I want to thank you for being here. And this is, you see, I don't have any of my toys because this is a jam session. This is a real jam session. And I think at 84, I deserve that, not to have to carry all my goodies and what have you. So, what you're going to hear is some of my stuff and some people that I love madly, including this, where is he at? This man back here with this beautiful voice, Francisco. And, uh, and then this woman over here with her beautiful voice, Kayla. And this gentleman with his beautiful bass. And some of you with your beautiful creativity out there. I'm really honored. I see 3 or 4 poet laureates out there. Ain't I? I'm a winner here. I got all these wonderful folks out here. That makes me feel good. Um, so we're gonna start off with. I always like Val was supposed to open it up, but somehow or another he has disappeared. He or either he's moving on Trinidad Standard Time, or he's got something else happening. But uh, this young lady up here, Kayla, we met when she was a teeny bopper, and she was working with some of the heaviest teenagers here in the Bay Area, and she had a gig, and her percussionist, for weird reasons I don't know to this day, didn't show up or what have you. And I was fiddling with rhythms on an empty Coca-Cola bottle, which is all those bottles are good for. And she heard it, and she locked into it, and we did the whole thing, her concert with me playing on the bottle, this empty bottle, and we've been friends ever since. One of the most powerful voices I know, an amazing creative artist. And she and I and Francisco and several other people are trying to restart something similar to what was the Labor Heritage Festival. So when you start hearing us, please join us. So with that, I'm going to shut up and we're going to get started. We're going to start off with Kayla, and we're going to have some music by myself and the folks you see on stage. There's a whole bunch of amazing poets in the audience here, and my daughter with her beautiful voice. And so hang on to your seats.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, for me. 'Cause before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave, going home, and I'll be free. I'll have to come back. I was choked up.
Okay, come on back.
I'll have to go start it.
Okay, folks, we're going to start off with Oaktown Blue.
First of all, what you did was
Thank you. Thank you. I see this beautiful creature wants to join the party. Whatever you're looking for, we don't have it. Anyway, for those who don't know, West Oakland was a major place. It was a blues haven. It was a really, really, really amazing, high energy place, and it was like the Harlem of the West. I mean, I know San Francisco has gotten that credit, but I would say West Oakland was the place. And I want to bring you there. And since we only have one of the people from our band here, you're going to have to imagine all of us here. And if you want to hear all of us, you can come out to the band theater next Saturday night and check us there. But with that, Heshima Markk Williams. They came on foot by car, riding hope, on horseback by train on the plain. They came wearing faith pockets full of dreams, running from cotton fields and chopping cane. They came running, knowing better was waiting, carrying their whole lives in paper bags, carrying guitars on their back, sacks full of tall tales and blue songs of a home they knew they'd always miss, but swore they'd never go back to. They came by ship discharged, scars, wounds no time could heal. Released from military hospitals on West Coast shores they'd never even seen, battle fatigue, confused, feeling used, and they came in droves from the wars, shell-shocked and tired, looking for a home, and when they didn't find it, they built it. On any night in West Oakland, you might run into migrant workers straight out the cotton fields of Georgia, strutting their stuff and partying and bumping and grinding alongside the armies of ditch diggers, tradespeople, and unemployed PhDs who were never told they were unemployable, saints and sinners from Texas and Mississippi, from Arkansas and Virginia, Maryland, the Carolinas, and even the West Indies, all dancing away their rage. A rage and sadness hidden behind memories of clouds of cotton and buried beneath too many mountains of sugar cane and tobacco leaves. A frustrated fury gladly forgotten and left to rot in deserted plantation fields, and you could hear the relief in the clubs as Big Mama Thornton took a crown and gave Oakland everything. Everything. I say the woman gave us everything. She gave us everything she wasn't allowed to give up in the South. John Lee Hooker brought the boogie out the Delta. And Bob Geddens, Ivy Joe Hunter, and Charles Brown gave us smooth. You could go right down the street, get yourself some of Beverly Stovall, Sonny Rhodes, Jimmy McCracklin, J.J. Malone, the sophisticated sweetness of Jimmy Witherspoon, or the raw passion of El Sugard Rockin' Robinson's blues violin, or get your inside ripped out and put back together again as Etta James and Sugar Pie DeSanto tore the roof off the house. The blues, it did not just slip into the Bay Area. It's like a cloud burst. The blues came in waves, powerful waves, waves as subtle as a tidal wave and as painlessly as a pregnant woman in hard labor. The blues came in oversized, raggedy overalls, sometimes sporting evening gowns and three-piece suits. They came furious, luxurious, jubilant, overworked, and underpaid, running from the Klan, holding on to everything they had. While others were looking for something to hold on to, the blues came in west looking for freedom land. L.A., Sacramento, and San Francisco had that big city thing. You know, folks rocked in Russell City. Vallejo had its scene. Richmond had a kind of smooth, Chi-town sounding thing. But if you wanted a gut-wrenching, soul-taking, down-home blues, you know, the kind of church and your mama both warned you about, the kind of blues that made your hair stand on end and snatch you out of chairs and made you shout, jump, act a fool, and dance that good old makes you want to holler kind of blues, you have to come to Oakland. Oakland, the mecca of the West Coast. The blues mecca of the West Coast. The scene was as wild and sophisticated as you were. Every place a different personality. Every night was party night, where you could romance and grind and whine and cry about what you didn't have, or brag and be loud and proud and show off everything you did have and talk about everything you wanted to be at Slim Jenkins Club, Esther's Arbitrum, Ruthie's Inn, or Eli's Mile High. Every night an exorcism where another demon was put to rest, where you were free to be real or be downright nasty, and say you could show your stuff till you were red with sweat. At the Rum Boogie, Christie's Grill, the Palladium Club, and all the nameless hidden round the clock juke joints, and the blues came down like rain. It fell down on everything. Say it fell down on everything. Everything. It fell down on Oakland, where blues was king. Play the blues. Then they came. I said they came. They came and knocked down the cafes. They came and tore up 7th Street. They closed the clubs. They promised jobs in schools to uplift and save. Then they took the hood and left a wasteland full of restless spirits. Ghosts running loose with plenty of reasons to sing the blues when everyone else goes to sleep. You can still hear them. J.C. Burris, Dottie Ivory, Z.Z. Hill, Mississippi Johnny Waters, hear them singing. There's sounds written all over every building that seeps up out of the ground. You walk on and it's yours. Little Johnny Taylor, Johnny Horseman, Percy Mayfield, listen. They tried to free you. They tried to hear you with their blues so strong. Even Willie Bobo was singing Never Go Back to Georgia. Buddy Ace, Cool Papa Sadler, Brownie McGee, and Lowell Folsom, they'll always be here. They refuse to disappear. Nothing can stop it. Gentrifiers can't block it. The same folks that dance from the blues scene into the mambo sessions and back again at the California Hotel now run to Dorsey's Locker, Bluesville, Sweet Jimmy's, and the Fifth Amendment. The same people and their children are bringing in the new. Queen Ida came. I said she came two-stepping out the bayou, lit in the Zydeco parade, and sugar pie DeSanto and John Lee, who can never grow old and still ride on top of our totem pole. There's Lady Bianca and Jesse James, E.C. Scott and Alvon, Sister Monica, Bobby Webb and Gwen Avery, Little Frankie Lee and Billy Dunn, Wiley Trask, Faye Carroll, Willie G, Frankie Kelly, Johnny Talbot, and Ronnie Stewart leading the caravan of all-stars into tomorrow. It's in the air we breathe, and it keeps on coming. It just keeps on coming and coming and coming and coming and coming and coming and coming, and nothing and nobody can stop it. Other folks can keep their big heads stuck way up in the clouds, but when it all comes back down to earth, the prize is ours, and it's our jewel, and it's still coming down. Oaktown Blue. Come on. Give me some blues. Oh, have mercy. I believe you. Heshima Markk Williams. And it keeps on coming down. Oaktown Blues. The blues all right this evening? I don't believe you. Is the blues all right this evening? Eric, this mic keeps falling down. So if you can help me with that. Come on, give Heshima a hand. That's what I call the bass and the blues. So the way this is going to work this evening, we're going to have some music, we're going to have some poetry, and I'm going to call up some of these folks. There's some amazing folks here in the audience. So what we're going to do next, I'm going to call up my dear friend Jenny Lim, and then after that we're going to bring up my dear friend, he's already up here, Francisco Hererra, and then there's no telling what we may do up here. We need another. Okay, while he's. We need, which mic should she use? This one?
I think this one.
Okay.
Can I just jump up there?
Yeah, I guess.
How are you going to jump up there?
But you can certainly go around from
That would really help, because we don't have jumping at our age is not a thing to do.
So I guess we'll just leave you there. Is that all right? We'll get a mic on that for you.
Bring down the power of love, I say. Bring down the power. The power of love, I say, is the greatest power. Stop hell and damnation. Bring down the power. Love to heal a nation is the greatest power. Jenny left.
Well, I've been pretty upset and haven't been able to sleep much. With what's going on in the Middle East and in Gaza, and the word now is that Trump has signed on with Netanyahu to bring in the troops to basically mow the grass and displace everyone and send whoever's still surviving in Palestine to wherever he wants to send them, Sudan or someplace. So it's not all right with humanity. So this is from here to Gaza, and I know my friend, my sister Avotcja, has been on the front lines with me in poetry, that's shouting out that the genocide has to stop. Here's from here to Gaza. Death never saw itself coming, only the eerie silence just before heaven blew up, and the olive trees burst into flames. At that interminable moment, all the exits from Gaza were sealed, and the key to your home became a souvenir in the mausoleum of your dreams. When the roof of darkness caved in, the Sea of Galilee turned red, and there was nowhere to go. Time was a thief. Your memory froze. Little did you know the terror in your heart had been there all along. birth. Like a little mouse trapped in a cage, little did we Americans know that the distance from here to Gaza was an illusion, and that the border between Palestine and Israel did not truly exist ever, except in fiction. History is occupied territory, and whoever lives to tell it is the victor. There are no more lions, only the hunters with power over life and death. What's left? Only stories of the flower of Jericho, only the place where Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. You've nothing but stones to fill the empty Temple Mount. Your hunger echoes in its desecrated ground and through the tunnels of insurgent prayers, never to be satisfied until the river returns to the sea, and the right of return is reality. You will know that moment when life returns with the infallibility of spring, because your spirit will soar on the chords of the wind, and life will know itself becoming. Another thing that's been heavy on, I know, all our hearts is the deportations and the sweeps and the farms and the Home Depots, workplaces, and you name it. Here's for the immigrants. We, unless you're Native American, Indigenous, we are all immigrants here.
Yes, sir.
The immigrant song. Who is the immigrant, you or I, asleep between the wings of day and night? This bird caught in flight keeps singing her song, though no one hears the flapping of her wings. I heard her lyric braided into the barbed wire, where the cove across the sea at dawn shone, where the tall buildings reached for the moon as if daring the stars to stop them. Take me to freedom, they cry. I have no mother to birth me here. Take me to where the sun sets in the west, to where the moon shines on golden streets. Take off my soaked collar, my shoes, take my memories, my banished suitcase, which I'd left for tomorrow. What need have I for sorrow on this journey? What need have I for regret or despair? Light passes between each echo, but this night of stones will not deny the border between my land and yours, between life and death. What need have I for death? Hope is the only branch to which I cling. Where goes tomorrow? Where goes tomorrow? Where goes tomorrow if today never comes? Death to the man alive who is deaf to the blind. I say death to the man alive who is deaf to his own death. Tomorrow is dying now. Black is the arrow of night which pierces our eyes. Red is the blood of our bones which flows from father to son, from mother to child. Tomorrow is dying. Tomorrow is dying inside me now. God save our children from history, from repeating her terrible lies. God save the promise of dawn from selling out her light. God save our children so old now. God save the old all alone now. God save tomorrow from today. God save truth from lies. God save truth from infamy. God save truth from money. God save truth from television, Trump, stir, and lies. This made-for-TV reality is simply not for me. God save truth from infamy. God save truth from genocide. By whom shall the knower be known? By whom shall the knower be known. Let fortune light your eyes. Let fortune smile before you pass. Where goes the air? Where goes the wind? Where goes fire? Where goes breath? Where goes mind? Where goes time? Where goes tomorrow if today never comes? Happy birthday, Avotcja.
Hey, thank you, thank you, thank you. San Francisco Poet Laureate Jenny Lim. Come on. Wow. Wow. Wow, what can I say? Wow. You know, while thinking about it, why don't we bring up my daughter, Jordana? You feel like singing with our bass player who can handle it, believe me. You can read a poem, you can sing whatever you want to do. Well, you need to go around the back of the stage to get up there. I don't want you falling down. That's my baby, by the way. That's my little tiny baby. And she always hates it when I tell the story. She was
Don't tell it.
I'm gonna tell it. You know, they always say women have the pregnancies and we're all 9 months, blah, blah, if we're lucky. Well, she was more than 9 months. She was close to 10 and a half months. They wanted to do a cesarean. I wouldn't let them do a cesarean. And she was a cross birth. And we make jokes to this day. She was holding on to both, so I'm not coming out, you know. And so they wanted to do the cesarean because they make more money than that. And I insisted and that they reach up and turn her around. And when they finally did, because she had been in there so long, she was the most perfect baby. She was beautiful. You know, unlike most babies all shriveled up and what have you. She came out looking like something out of a movie star book, you know. And so she's still my baby, and her name is Jordana.
So embarrassing.
It's true. If I was you, I would have held on too. I wouldn't want to come. No, I'm not coming out.
Anywho. So I wrote this for my mom. I call it a poem. My friend called it an ode. So I don't know what it is really, but it's about my mom. I'm not a poet. I want to make that very clear. I'm a singer. But I'm honored to be up here with so many serious poets when I'm really just Avotcia's daughter. So it's called, I call it, a poem for my mom. M-O-M, mother of mine, majestic overseer maternal, mentor of many. I remember growing up thinking I wanted what my mom called a Betty Crocker mom. I thought of her as a normal mom. She'd be queen of the bake sale, president of the PTA, and drive me to and from cheerleading practice. My mom was a poet, a musician, a radio disc jockey. Nursery rhymes? My mom read me Langston Hughes, James Baldwin, Gil Scott-Heron, and the like. My mother was intellectual, deep, regal, and strong. Even her name is strong, Avotcia. I secretly wished for Betty. Me and my mother shared an open and honest relationship. We spoke openly about everything and shared affection freely, which I didn't find normal. Yet secretly, I loved the head massages she gave to help me sleep, the hugs so full of love that you could actually feel the love flowing from her person, and the gentle caresses she gave without thought just because. Now, as I look back on my youth, I realize what a blessing my strong, intellectual, regal, and sometimes controversial mom was and is today. Avotcia has raised a strong yet compassionate woman, independent, yet not afraid to give and receive love and affection openly, intelligent and open-minded, and overflowing with love. But don't dare cross me. I am so proud of you, Mom. Proud to say I'm Avotcia's daughter. Proud of the woman you've allowed me to become and forced me to be. And although I remind you often, I want to say it now for the whole world to hear, yell it from the mountaintop, and make up for all the times I might have missed growing up. I love you, mother of mine, majestic overseer maternal, mentor of many. I love you.
Love you too, sweetheart. She's escaping. She can't go not sing the song, but you get a chance to hear her sing. You really have to hear her sing. She's dangerous. Okay, so what we're going to do now, where is Francisco? Are you there? Huh. Okay, I don't.
That's good.
Okay, well, I'm gonna while we're waiting for Francisco to come back, then I'm gonna call up another poet, and see if we can find him somewhere. Let's see, who is there's so many poets here in the house. How about, huh? Oh, where? Oh, there you are. Okay. Um,
But I want to ask your daughter to come and sing a song. She has. Will you get over here? Did she come around?
I don't know where she is.
Where? Jordana,
Am I being summoned?
ready? Do it.
Okay. Okay, well, here we go. Summertime. Oh, I'm sorry, so nervous right now. Sorry. And the living is easy. Fish are jumping, and the cotton is high. Daddy's rich, and your ma is good looking. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing. Spread your wings and you'll take to the sky. But until then, there ain't nothing can harm you. With mommy and daddy standing by. Summertime and the living is easy. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm so sorry. I am so nervous right now. Rich and your ma is good looking. With mommy and daddy standing by. I cannot right now. I was not prepared. I'm so sorry.
oh well. I think Francisco tied her up back there and made her get up here.
Caminando, caminando, vamos caminando hacia el sol.
This is called the ever-present rhythm of dreams.
Caminando, caminando.
Since there are certain creatures that they want to get rid of all the so-called undocumented workers in the fields, I decided to solve the problem. So I wrote this poem. It's called The Ever-Present Rhythm of Dreams. In an inappropriately humble attempt to take some of the overwhelming, purifying pressure off the hard-working folks of Arizona and Alabama, I rented an upscale storefront and opened a ritzy employment office to help anglicize the workforce in the fields. You know, it was my small way to silence the fury, to put an end to the rage of the unemployed American citizenry, and fill all the seats behind every sewing machine in the garment industry with card-carrying children of the daughters of the American Revolution. You know, it was my hope to replace the ungrateful rabble-rousing college kids with wild afro hair, and those afro hair, oh my goodness, dashiki wearing and minimum wage earning paperless farm workers, as well as all those alien looking service workers and janitors in the office buildings and hospitals and hotels. And I wanted to get rid of them and replace them with a patriotic army of all American good old boys. You know, on the day we finally opened, We stood feeling good. We had done our homework well and had left no stone unturned. We were ready for the job hungry crowds. We opened those doors at 5:30 Monday morning, complete with smiling faces and a cappuccino with every application. Nobody came. Tuesday. Wednesday was the same old stories. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even Sunday. Nobody came. And the following Monday, to add insult to injury, we only had one applicant who could barely stand up, and he thought we were a blood bank. Oh, well, I tried. Many have tried to turn this stupidity around. Many, much wiser than me, have died trying to make this world a world worth living in. Truth is, we are everywhere. We just don't sell newspapers. I can only hope the powerful beauty of the unnewsworthy majority will succeed in drowning the ugliness of the disciples of hate. But life goes on. And I continue to dance and write and cry and laugh and scream in the face of madness, and I'll go to my grave singing about castles in the sky. Still hanging on to rainbows, still standing strong, and still living in the rhythm of my dreams.
Caminando, caminando, vamos caminando hacia el sol. Caminando, caminando, vamos caminando hacia la libertad. ¡Hey! A mí me gusta cantar, a mí me gusta caminar, a mí me gusta cantar. I like to sing, I like to walk, I like to sing that this road, we make it as we walk. Ain't no recipes. Que el camino lo vas haciendo al caminar. Caminando, caminando, vamos caminando hacia el sol. Caminando, caminando, vamos caminando hacia la unidad. Mano a mano, caminando, hombro a hombro, trabajando y las tierras compartiendo. Hand to hand, we're walking, shoulder to shoulder, we're working, and by sharing the land, we harvest freedom. Can you say caminando with me?
Caminando.
If you can say it, you could sing it. Caminando, caminando, vamos, vamos caminando hacia el sol. The trick is singing in Spanish. Just focus on the vowels. Ready? Caminando. Caminando, caminando. Vamos caminando hacia la paz. Vamos caminando hacia la paz. No hay camino ya hecho, pero hay brecha preparada. Nuestros mártires la abrieron. There is no road already made, no recipes, but there are little paths that have been opened by our martyrs, by our ancestors, by those on whose shoulders we stand. So I want to ask you, think of a name of a real person on whose shoulders you stand. Jordana just gave us a great example. You have that name in your mind? On whose the reason you're sitting here today is because of that person. Okay, I'm gonna count to 3. You're gonna say it very loud. 1, 2, 3.
Arturo Schoenberg.
Ooh, louder.
Arturo Schoenberg.
And how did they open the road? Caminando, walking. Caminando, moving. Caminando, organizing. Caminando la jornada. Oh. Caminando, caminando, vamos, vamos caminando hacia el sol. Caminando, caminando, Vamos caminando hacia la libertad.
Eso sí.
The vowels.
All right. You know what? I want to bring up another poet, but while they're coming up, Val got here a little late because I think he was up there taking care of some business. But we got to bring the ancestors in here, so I'm going to ask him to do that. And while he's doing that, who am I going to bring back up here after that? Oh, Douglas. Okay.
Orere, orere, oh, ile bogbo logun wa o. Orere, orere, oh, ile bogbo logun wa. Ogun wa nílé, ogun wa lọ́nà. Ile bogbo logun wa o. Ogun is everywhere. That's him caminando. Everywhere. Ogun. To open the way. Edumare, Edumare, Edumare morio, Edumare, Edumare. Ni o pèsè fún wa o Èdùmàrè ni o pèsè fún mi. Ìgbín kò lọ́wọ́, ìgbín kò lẹ́sẹ̀ o. Èdùmàrè ni o pèsè fún wa. Edumare, ni o puese to me. Creator, provide for us, provide for me. The snail has no arms, the snail has no legs, yet it is provided for. Creator, provide for us, provide for me. And I saw this because I was in Sacramento today at a missionary Baptist church where my sister Yemania, who I met here whilst playing on the street in San Francisco in the 1970s, has been doing a lot of community gardening. And they have taken their land and divided it into micro farms. And a lot of the elders are there and they say, you must grow your own food. And one of the elders said today, Farm Fresh or somebody has been giving out food stamps. And as of this coming September, it will be no more. So you must grow your own food. Ashe.
Thank you, Val Serrant.
Ashe.
Douglas.
Yeah. The Creator has a master plan. The Creator has a master plan. Yeah. So 2 days ago, I just stepped back from Colombia, seeing, creating, vibrating with some of my roots out there. So I want to share a piece about that real quick. So as I stepped into Cali, where the streets hum with salsa and ancient gumbo styles, the air carries drums older than my name. The mountains build backs of welcome, whispering, damn, you've come back? I said, yeah, I'm here. I am here. I am the voodoo. I am the one. I am that pharaoh. I am the sun. You know me. I see you. We see we. Through Palenque I walk, where freedom first planted its flag, where the tongues of Africa still rise like a prayer. Here, the ancestors, I and I, their stories stitched in every song. Their laughter is our inheritance. Cartagena gleams like sunlit mirrors, walls built of stone, yet behind them, voices that had never been broken. I press my palm to the bricks, feeling the pulse of those that have endured, who have carved, survived into the rhythm and the dance. From Cholo and the boats, I see the self. The sea itself becomes a vessel. Got some drums from me, Val, over here. Brother Val, you got me? It's waves lifting me towards memory. Salt water, brown hands, braided hair, the echo of djembes over restless tides. We sail forward. We sail forward. Knowing who we are, that we are those stars of Sirius B constellations, those vibrations always take me back. Even though I drove out Ivanka airwaves to get back to Colombia, Cartagena, Chile, all those things, I am here. And they said, we welcome you. But backward too, to reclaim what has been taken, to stitch back several chords, to lift out names in silence. This is no visit, it's a circle closing. That's right. We hear it. We hear that drum. African walls beside me here. In every drum beat. In every face that carries the sun. In every step across these lands. It is both wound and healing. I know, our future is not lost. It waits, rooted in the rivers, in the streets, in the people. It waits for us, rising and returning and remembering. Yeah. The Creator has a master plan. Yeah. The Creator has a master plan. So now that we're all here gathered at Bird and Beckett's, giving thanks and giving praise to Sister Avotcja, we gather for the ancestors that have come before us, for the ancestors yet to be born. We gather to share the stories of our teachers, our mothers, our fathers, sons and daughters, those that have sacrificed and survived, who have carved out timeless memories, who have left us seeds of wisdom so we can grow our new gardens, so we can plant our new trees, so we can nourish and respect old roots and traditions, so we can carry on spirited songs of resiliency, freedom, and hope. We gather for peace. We gather for unity, for harmony, for protection, and resurrection, because the lack of harmony will be the harm in me. Feel me?
Yes, indeed.
Because the lack of harmony will be the harm in me. So we must gather, we must share, we must dance, we must laugh, we must remember, we must play, we must honor Mother Earth. We must cherish Father Time. So we can love, so we can find peace. So we can love, so we can find peace. So we can spread balance. So we can embrace unity. So we can celebrate harmony. So we gather in this garden space, I call it Bird and Beckett's right now, right? And give thanks to the Most High always, so we can manifest all these blessings for today, tomorrow, and yesterday. Can I get an ashe?
Ashe.
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 Ashe. Oh. Give thanks, brother.
Thank you. Come on, give him a big hand. I want to bring Francisco back up. Folks that don't know, there was a time when I wound up as a teenager working in the fields. And contrary to popular belief, it was not fun. It wasn't a, they make it sound like it's some romantic venture, whatever. And it was rough stuff. And the kids that are working there, they get the jobs that some of the older folks can't handle, the nasty jobs, like strawberries, which are horrible. Strawberries grow in very, very wet soil, so you're slipping around, and there's these big, horrible things. I guess it's a caterpillar kind of thing, big, and sometimes your finger's going right through them. But you can't stop, because you got to get a certain amount of strawberries in order to make your money. And for years, I wouldn't touch a strawberry, you know. And if it's not organic, I would strongly advise you don't even think about it, because strawberries hold some horrible toxins. But anyway, I met some beautiful people, a bunch of Mexicans and Filipinos who literally became my family. So I was literally raised by Mexicans and Filipinos, and they showed me so much, including this music. So I fell in love with some of Francisco's relatives and ancestors, and I read his voice. As soon as I heard it, I was madly in love. So he's going to do a piece called Yo Te Amaré, and I'm going to do a poem called En el espejo de tus ojos, because you can't have poetry without romance.
Te conocí entre susurros, juntos los dos en el capullo. Te vi crecer, tú me conoces, yo te amaré. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Como el agua de los ríos le da vida a la tierra, así nuestro amor será una vida verdadera. La 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 la, la 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 la, la la. Como los rayos del sol hacen crecer a las flores, así tus ojos me guían al amor de mis amores. La 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 la, yo te amaré. La 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 la, la 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 la. Como el agua de los ríos le da vida a la tierra, así nuestro amor será una vida verdadera. La 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 la. Como los rayos del sol hacen crecer a las flores, así tus ojos me guían al amor de mis amores. Yo te amaré, yo te amaré, yeah. Dame tu mano.
En el espejo de sus ojos. Aquí estoy otra vez, una sonámbula, mirándome en el espejo de tus ojos acallados, por el poder de mi querer y esta pasión que siento yo. Es como una melodía persiguiendo, una melodía sin fin. Y tú eres una canción, tú eres la canción que quiero cantar, y yo soy una víctima más de tus ojos, nada más que otro juego, una aventura más, ojalá. Como una sonámbula vengo yo viviendo sin vivir, mirándome en el espejo de tus ojos, in the mirror of your eyes. Here I am one more time, a sleepwalker looking at you, looking at me in the mirror of your eyes. silenced by the power of love, and this passion that I feel is like a haunting melody, an unending melody. And you are the song that I want to sing, and I'm just another victim of your eyes, nothing more than another game, just one more adventure, still hoping. Like a sleepwalker I come, living, but not really alive, looking at you, looking at me in the mirror of your eyes, en el espejo de tus ojos. Estoy aquí, mirándote, mirándome en el espejo de tus ojos. I want to call up another poet before we do something else up here. Let's see, who is the next victim? Oh, so many wonderful poets in this house. I don't have a volunteer, so I just have to start pointing. Okay, come on, Kim. Poet laureate of San Francisco Emerita. So we got all these poet laureates in the house. Come on, Kim. Kim Shuck. Francisco. After that, Carlito. Carlito de fruta. Okay.
Sorry, Val.
Welcome.
Thank you. Okay, I got here. I'm always honored when I'm asked by Avotcja to come do poetry. Complicated times, people. Complicated times. And the only way forward is community.
Speak on that.
These mornings under tension, filled with beautiful flaws, walking towards the light shed with cold knuckles, cold in my right foot, damage written in bone and muscle, experience collects experience, chill in the scar. Various daily marvels, yearly wonders, these mirrors, polished stone, pulled threads, all the colors of a winter sky, snarl around the reflection, curled, undone, astonishing. Rainbreak, collective energy, corvid song, a skeptical celebration. The circulatory system here is a river that runs uphill along old inhuman trails, an ongoing and idle-handed pleading of time and water. The trees are a constant swell and crack. The trees are a shiver. Thank you. These are the days where we have to rebuild our hearts from scratch,
Yes,
from first principles. And I want you to know that when it's rained a lot, if you're down at the foot of this little hill, just down one block, you can hear the old creek running under the concrete. You have to be really careful, and it has to be really quiet. But the moments happen, and you can hear the water. And when I was a kid, there was a bridge right down there, and you could see the water. All of these things act together. The old rivers, these places, and a community that'll come together to celebrate someone's birthday. This is what we're here for. It's what we're made for. I was talking to somebody today about whether I thought poetry was a useful thing. I don't have to think that. We're some of the first things they put on the block.
Tell them.
We are some of the first things they try to get rid of. The way forward is community and art and leaning into beauty. Thank you so much for inviting me and continuing to make great work.
Thanks for being my friend, cuz. You know, I want to do another piece here with Francisco. It's really interesting, these things, you know. Then we have the English only one, you know, thing. And there were a bunch of us. I don't know if you were around when we had it called the Libro Traficantes. I was one of them. We were getting books into folks in places like Arizona and places where they were taking books away. And they were really harassing a couple of teachers in particular and their whole families, because they were doing terrible things like teaching real Mexican history. But you see, what you don't realize when you teach real Mexican history, that it wasn't just about Mexican history. The so-called Mexican-American War was an anti-slavery war because this country wanted to maintain slavery. They don't talk about that. You never hear about that. But that's what the whole thing was about. It was an anti-slavery war. That's what they need to call it. And the teachers taught that. So as a result of that, they didn't just get the Mexican kids listening to them. The black kids in Arizona and in Alabama were listening to them. That was a dangerous thing to happen. So they harassed them. They took all the books away. And then folks all over the country, I was one of many, were getting books to them. What they're doing now is so scary and so terrible that it's just, we're living in a nightmare. And as Kim so eloquently put it, the only thing that's going to pull us through is holding together onto each other like white on rice. On our poetry series, it's called La Palabra Musical, and when we first started it, it was just Spanish-English. And this wonderful Korean woman loved my Oaktown Blue poem, and she came up, I wrote a poem about Oakland too, but nobody will understand it. It's in my language. We said, well, do it. And she was a traditional Asian storyteller, singer. Have you ever seen Chinese opera? That's what I'm talking about. She did not read a poem. She did not sing a poem. She became the poem. She was and it just blew us off the planet. So from that point on, we became a multilingual poetry reading. I tell everybody, whatever language you dream in or cry in, bring it, because it's time to cut the crap and really start listening to the music in all of our words. And I think that's the only thing that's going to save our souls. But that's my personal thing. Meanwhile, there's these other creatures that were doing this thing with this English only and blah, 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 blah. And I wrote another one of my humble attempts to solve the problem. And I wrote a poem about what that whole thing stood for. This poem is called Aquí no tenemos tamales, or we don't have any tamales here. You know, we solved the problem, except when it's Taco Tuesday, of course. You know, and so hopefully the few words in Spanish, you'll understand it, you'll get the message. But the whole thing is so ludicrous that it's unbelievable. The English language, as spoken in the United States, is a hodgepodge of every language you can imagine. Your number system, Arabic. You know, most of the radios, etc., you have Asian. We can go on forever. And let's cut the crap and start listening to each other. So with this one, you know, my dear friend over here, I love his voice, so it's another excuse. Carrito de fruta, and aquí no tenemos tamales.
Un cajón de mil colores.
The Roadkill Cafe. I say the Roadkill Cafe is alive and well and open for business in just about any city, USA. Offering a whole new menu complete with lifeless, spiceless, unrefined brainlessness, and FDA-approved organic GMOs, guaranteed to be completely devoid of any recognizable semblance of natural ingredients, scientifically approved foods absolutely untouched by human hands and assembled mechanically in quietly converted astro-crop fields. Fields cleansed of undocumented farm workers, the Roadkill Cafe offers the ideal meaningless meal for those whose intelligence has been devoured by greed and no longer have time to deal with the trivia of anything real. The Roadkill Cafe is now serving the newest of fast foods for the racially untainted pure at heart, speaking English only to classrooms and centers of higher learning reserved for the few remaining unmixed purebloods who will swallow anything as long as their financial stomachs stay full. Intellectually bankrupt intellectuals who could care less about what's in their food as long as no one unwanted aliens are picking and packing it. Hey, there's a whole new entree or two on the menu. Ignorance a la carte, SB 1070 and HB 2281, estupideces saboreadas de la bobadilla, two more tasteless items who've lost For those who've lost their taste, I say, it's yours. Yours on the luncheon special of the Roadkill Cafe. No tamales, no enchiladas, not even a taco, ni un olocillo de salsa picante. The doors are open. They're always open at the Roadkill Cafe. Today in Arizona, mañana in any city, USA.
Un cajón de 1000 colores es el carrito que traigo. Despide ricos sabores por las calles de mi barrio. That beautiful, colorful fruit truck, fruit box that I have, letting out wonderful aromas through the streets. It's from my arms that you nourish yourself, and you'll see me back and forth and back, selling the beauty and the harmony and the nurturing food that you eat. Un cajón de 1000 colores es el carrito que traigo. I am the fruit vendor. Despide ricos sabores por las calles de mi barrio. Este es mi carrito de fruta, con el que me gano la vida. Traigo orgullo y alegría, recuerdos de mi pueblo y mi linda nación. Y ahí me verá vendiendo por esas calles fruta que desde los valles le vienen a alimentar. Usted será que se nutre de mis brazos, y con todo el entusiasmo sigo yo con mi jornal. Vendo melón, sandía y también pepinos, y con los churritos ricos usted se va a saborear. Sal y limón y crema para su elote, ya verá que sabrosote con su chile de a montón. A las 5 de la mañana cortamos toda la fruta. At 5 in the morning we cut all the fruit, and we have ordinances and laws to deal with, but we know that at the end of the storm there's always a ray of sun. A las 5 de la mañana cortamos toda la fruta, nos caiga el sol o la lluvia, hay que seguir con la ruta. Permisos y ordenanzas, has empezada la vida, sea el problema que sea, toda tormenta al fin trae su rayo de sol. Y ahí me verá vendiendo por esas calles fruta que desde los valles le vienen a alimentar. Usted será quien se nutre de mis brazos, y con todo el entusiasmo sigo yo con mi jornal. Vendo melón, sandía y también pepino, y con los churritos ricos usted se va a saborear. Sal y limón y crema para su elote, ya verá que sabrosote con su chile de a montón.
And I'm hungry. Yes, to do this. Oh my goodness. Anyway, look at here. We're gonna take a break in just a second, but before that, we're gonna have another poet, and I have one more poem I wanted to do before we take this break, and I want to remind, because it's first on the listening to us on the web. You know, I say Radio Landia, wherever it is, they're out there listening. And if you're listening, please drop some money. There's a little thing on that thing that says you can pay to help keep the store alive. Because in this place full of all this, I lived in these places as a kid and in libraries. And if it wasn't for books, you would not see me or half the people who are in this room. you know. And independent bookstores are the closest thing to churches that you need to keep the planet going. So please support this place. So out there in Radiolandia, you're listening, but please donate. Now I'm going to bring up Greg Pond, who just came back from Panama, you know, and he's one of the most powerful, beautiful voice. And then I want to do another poem, and then we're going to take a break for a second. And while you take this break, please look around here and maybe get a book or two or three, or call your friends and your mama and your cousins, especially the old mean neighbor that never smiles. Tell them to come on down here and get some of this beautiful vibe in this place. So with that, Greg Pond.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Avotcja. Happy birthday. Never ever was. Latest word from the MAGA beat. They're striking a match. They've turned up the heat. And we're the raw meat, cooking in the kitchen. We were once seeking freedom, now we're among the missing and expendably obsolete. Diversity, equity, and inclusion out on a call strike 3. Even if we decide to hide our ancestry, some of us are among the ones most easily seen, shining like neon lights on dark city streets. And even in the day, we are endangered. We walk in danger while seeking truth and unity, which often seems so foreign even in our own community. We're told to praise a deranged stranger who rides a blind horse like some lost lone ranger, who promises change and another stab at greatness, but delivers a handful of dust, offering less of the same and a return to a place that never ever was.
Well,
and this I wrote from my trip to Panama, which is where my parents were born. It says Panama red, white, and blue. Panama red, white, and blue, I feel for you. With metropolitan glee, you welcomed me for a bird's eye view of your high-rise city with its tricolored flag and its shanty town roofs. I'm surrounded by familiar things, but far as I can be. I came to seek a missing limb still attached to a family tree. Could Paraíso, Colón, or my parents' old home hold deep roots for me? Everywhere, everyday people seek relief from jungle heat. Am I in step with La Gente, who work and sleep in the canal street of in the canal city of skyscraped streets? Oh, to be so enchanted by this foreign land of people Central American and a language I can barely speak. Panama rojo, blanco y azul. Me encanta, pero tengo que irme por la mañana. Checked in direct on JetBlue, flew for 6 hours or so. And though I've grown accustomed to going through customs, it's time to say adios. Please save a seat for me along the isthmus between the Atlantic, Pacific, and Caribbean Sea. From Casco Viejo to the Canal Zone, I promise to buy a postcard, having a tropical time, and mail it right before I get home. I packed 1,000 sights and sounds in my suitcase of souvenirs. I may have gained a pound or two, but I've pushed back several years of dirt just to unearth the seeds that gave me my Panamanian roots.
hey.
Thank you all.
Oh, wow. You know what? I just saw the time. Eric, should we do a full set or should we just keep going? I didn't realize what time it was. I'm so wrapped up in all this poetry and music.
I have some food here. Maybe if you take a little break, you can eat a little something and have energy to stay a little bit.
Okay, but okay, what we do.
How you all feel about that? You got a little energy to stick around?
Okay, please. And with that, before you do that, I want to do this real quick. My daughter will probably testify. I am a true coffeeholic. You know, and when Maria tore up the Caribbean, it tore it up. It tore it up. And the places, you know, where the tourists go, they fixed all those places. But like the folks in the mountain areas, all over the place in Puerto Rico, whether it's there or San Tomas or wherever, are still hurting big time. And there's groups of folks that we have different crews. My crew, we send stuff way up into the mountains of Puerto Rico. And I didn't realize that Roberto, who is our person, our contact up there, was taking stuff to the coffee growers. And then I went into the post office a couple of months ago and opened this box, and all these brands of different Puerto Rican coffees fall out with a note. I never need to buy another bag of coffee again as long as I live, as long as I never drink another cup of Café Bustelo, which is not Puerto Rican coffee, contrary. It's Puerto Rican coffee like Afro Sheen is African. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. But anyway, so I wrote this poem because the first words out of my mouth, oh my God, it's raining cafe. But I changed it to R-E-I-G and raining royalty. So real quick, Val, why don't you help me with some drum on this one? Called Raining Café, and it's in Spanglish, but you get the message. Confesiones de una cafeólica sin vergüenza, which translates into Confessions of a Shameless Coffeeholic. Way up in the mountains of Borinquen, it's raining café. Indescribably precious little tiny coffee beans, proud and homegrown and more numerous than raindrops, café real con un aroma sin igual, and just a scent of cafeteto transports me to a pueblo de las Marias. This coffee is sacred, precious, delicious, a real mountain treasure. Es un licor natural y orgánico y 100% del pueblo borincano, and with every cup of café el mañanero and café lealtad, I am reborn. En las montañas de la Isla del Encanto, it's raining café. But even here, 3,595 miles away from it, the fruta sagrada del campo, I daily drink in the power of those mountains, and I am energized. Every single day when I taste the essence of Café Ciales, I can feel the naturaleza of Ciales come alive inside my insides. And Café Oro de Puerto Rico, ¡ay, qué rico! Café increíble con su aroma sabroso. A sacred encanto, the taste of majesty, and con cada trago de nuestro café subo pa'l cielo. In the mountains of la Isla del Encanto, it's raining café. Royal coffee beans, un tesoro nacional, with hypnotic aromas that smell of the wildness of freedom, untamable freedom, libre like the dirt of the mountains that gave them birth. Oh yes, I confess I'm hooked. I get drunk with every cup of café de aquí avutuado, majestuoso tesoro sagrado de las montañas. And in my house, tomo el sabor 100% de las montañas, and I shamelessly admit it. There is not 1 ounce of doubt in my mind. I am a proud, 100% unapologetic coffeeholic, and in my house, it's raining café, 100% from the mountains of La Isla del Encanto. Thanks for listening to my words. Get some of this food and come on back. We're going to do a short set after this. And thank you so much for being my friends and being here. But I think that Eric's got some goodies over there. And after what my friend Francisco was singing about all that good food and spices and what have you, I think you would need some. We're going to come back with a short set after this. It's only going to be a short one, but please stay. And get some food over there. Okay, folks, we're going to get started. We only got a couple more things. We went over because I was not looking at the clock since I told you to turn off your clocks and what have you, and your phones and what have you. So we went way over, but I'm really grateful that we're here and that you're here. And I hope that the folks who are listening to us out there in Zoomlandia have donated something to this place, because this place needs to continue. All the independent bookstores, whether it's this one, whether it's Marcus Books, support them. We just lost the what is it called? It was East West, which I really loved out there. The Asian, it'd been there forever. East Wind Books, Berkeley. Right on University and Sheriff Shattuck. And friends of mine, and it's just really sad. They're still doing stuff online, but I mean, it's just this thing. Just please support independent bookstores, support independent everything, because reality is that's all you're going to have pretty soon anyway. Anyway, we're going to say a couple more things, and then we're going to be finished. You know what I want to do before I even start? I want to bring up my friend Marisa. Marisa was introduced to me by a friend of hers, who is a friend of mine, and I've been in love with her work ever since. So let's bring Marisa Thompson up. Come on.
Happy birthday, Avotcja. I've been in love with Avotcja ever since I met her too, and I can genuinely say, like, you know, like going to La Palabra Musical, Avotcja holds so much space for like your poetry, all the your experiences. And I was coming from like a college experience of being like a pretty broken down poet, just kind of like, I never want to write again. This sucked, you know, like I hate all, you know, like all this, you know, weird elitism and looking at everybody sideways and just generally. And so if I hadn't found like a home in La Palabra Musical, I probably wouldn't even be writing. So thank you again, Avotcja, for holding community and space for all of us. I'm going to take us back just because I need to write new stuff lately. But this poem, it's good to remember where everything started. This poem was written in the summer of 2016. And it's important to remember that all of this started in a big way, not the only way, but in the big way with fear, right? And so, you know, we have, and I think this most recent election also was about fear. People who are afraid of folks who are trans. They're afraid of immigrants and workers. They're afraid of crime. They're afraid of this. They're afraid of that, right? And so really what we have is people in power who are not afraid, they're cowards. There's a difference, okay? Because they're afraid of competition. They're afraid of, you know, not being dominant. They're afraid of being found out for really just kind of like the nasty type of human beings that they actually are. But they are convincing other people to be afraid, but then feeding them disinformation so they're afraid of the wrong things, and then are being encouraged to be cruel. That's kind of how I worked it out, you know, in 2016, and it's playing out again, right? So, you know, in a poetic tradition, you know, we're supposed to be encouraged to have empathy for people, right? Always. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to empathize with cruelty. I'm not going to empathize with things that are just factually untrue. But I was like, when have I ever been afraid? So afraid that I lost my mind. So that's why this poem is called Arachnophobia.
Ooh, ouch.
Here we go. Arachnophobia. Noun. Extreme or irrational fear of spiders. Like you, spider, crouched against the pale green paint in the corner near the 15-foot ceiling. I liked these 15-foot ceilings until you came along. You crawling out of the banana boat song. You top model for the Sky Mall bug vacuum cleaner. You spider that ate Cleveland. Once an entire mountain road of cars backed up for a tarantula crossing the road. I drove around it like a pothole. The guy behind me paused and opened his door, gaping down at it. Did you know that, spider? I thought all you spiders knew each other. My brother threw balled up Kleenexes at me during your entire movie. Spiders, for instance, being relatively small, do not fit the usual criterion for a threat in the animal kingdom, where size is a factor, but they can be venomous. Are you venomous? We should determine it. We should develop a test to determine if you're venomous before you can stay in this room in the corner near the ceiling. Don't come any closer. I'm going to lie here all night and watch you from the rest of the room. Not even in the same plane in three-dimensional space here on the bed with the lights on. Recent studies of spider phobia have indicated that the fear of spiders is closely associated with the disease avoidance response of disgust. Because you are disgusting. I don't get it. Why do you have to have 8 legs and have hair on your legs and all over your body? Did you know some spiders can shoot their hair? Some spiders shoot their venomous hairs. And you squish yourselves up like an accordion when someone startles you. It's really hard to get to know someone that way. It is argued that the disgust relevant status of the spider resulted from its association with disease and illness in European cultures from the 10th century onward. You know what? That's racist. Like, it's my fault. No one asked you to come in here. I was here first. Okay, maybe I wasn't here first. I probably already shared a bathroom with a spider, but I know this house was here first. I know the length of a spider's lifetime. The development of the association between spiders and illness appears to be linked to the many devastating and inexplicable epidemics that struck Europe from the Middle Ages onwards, when the spider was a suitable displaced target for the anxieties caused by these epidemics. See, there you go. It makes sense. We're hardwired to fear spiders. It's natural. We divide ourselves into tribes and nations and spiders. A nation without spiders is not a nation. Such factors suggest that the pervasive fear of spiders that is commonly found in many Western societies may have cultural rather than biological origins and may be restricted to Europeans and their descendants. See, more racism. You know what? All lives matter. My life matters because all I wanted was to get some sleep. Are you trying to tell me I could write other poems about spiders like Joy Harjo? She had some spiders. Or that you're some form of luck or grandmother spider, like we're all connected in a web of life? That's some hippie bullshit. Or a Nancy spider so wily and intelligent he could defeat death? Yeah, we all know what that means. You could just be acting harmless. You could be a secret spider. Or maybe I'm supposed to sweep all creatures gently away from me gently with a tiny broom like a person who follows Jainism and cover my mouth so that I don't eat spiders at night. Did you know people eat spiders? But I mean, really, who can live this way? Because I'm really afraid, spider. I'm really afraid. Okay, spider. Okay, you stay in that corner and I'll stay in the rest of this 3-dimensional plane, okay? Okay. Hey, where are you going? Thank you.
Marisa Thompson. Anyway, and she's a teacher, so if you got a child that's in that class, they're in good hands. You know, I'm really, really honored to be here. And my publisher is here. Bill, let me tell you something. I can't even tell you, and I'm not going to mention names, because some of the best publishers in this country that everybody loves, black publishers, white publishers, Latin publishers, refused to have my stuff. They wanted to cut me up. Either all black stuff or all Spanish stuff or all English stuff or no stories or all stories. And he took it all. And for that, I'm truly grateful. Thank you, Bill. I'm forever grateful to you. And because the reality is we're more than just one-sided individuals, all of us. And in my case, I'm more than just a poet. I write stories, I write music, I write, poems, and I'm just a nutcase. I'm also a photographer, so this next book I have coming out, it's going to have not only poetry and short stories, it's going to have some of my poetry in it. And I never was into, I shouldn't say I did for a while, fashion photography, which I hated. But I like photography like a person likes painting. I think of photographs as time-stopping things. They're pictures. And so my photos are not the classic kind of things. But anyway, so he's here, and I'm grateful for that. I want to do another piece here. This piece, and I'm so grateful that, Francisco, I've loved his work. I mean, his whole family. If you've never seen the rest of the Herreras, I don't know what their mama's been feeding them. But they're all brilliant, every single one of his brother, his sister. But this particular one that we're going to do now, a poem is mine, but it's going to be a piece of music by somebody everybody should know. She was like the Billy Strayhorn of Mexico, and she was never given the credit for that in Mexico. I'm very grateful that Billy Strayhorn, as a 16-year-old boy when he wrote Lush Life, was literally adopted by the Ellington family, the orchestra. And as a gay kid, he could have gotten killed if it hadn't have been for that group literally taking him under their wing. Now, Consuelo Velasquez, I don't think she was gay, but she was a teenage girl. And you have heard her music for years, like Besame Mucho, which she wrote as a teenager, and a whole bunch of other beautiful music that she wrote as a teenager. When I was that little kid, when I was going into the fields, I always had my guitar with me. So the Mexican farm workers and the Filipino farm workers, they sort of like adopted me. I was like their baby, their little girl. So all the stereotypes they had about Mexican men and Filipino men, that didn't have to do. Anybody that was a mujeriego was going to act stupid, they would stop. I was like their little girl. And they were the one that introduced me to not only her, but other kid musicians from the Philippines and from Mexico. And I fell in love with this woman. And I can't tell you what it does for a kid, because I'm not the only kid who was doing stuff that was supposedly way ahead of their times. A lot of kids, absolutely brilliant artists, but we don't pay attention to them. And I'm so grateful that these guys, especially the Mexican farm workers, introduced me to her. So we're going to do one of her tunes, one of my favorite ones by her, Hererra Amarga, and one of my poems. And the poem that we're going to do with this one is called Lágrimas de una vieja lunática. In Spanish, luna means like the moon, but it also can mean like insane, insanity. And so it's a play on words, lunática. How would you translate that? Anyway, talking about a crazy old lady like this one. But anyway, so talking about a neighborhood I used to live in, like not too far from here. But the apartment I had lived in there, they have rent control, at least they had then. I was there for so many years. I was paying $328 a month for this gigantic apartment on when it was Army then. And they're charging over $3,000 for it now. But anyway, I can't be there. So we're going to introduce you to Consuelo Velázquez with my Lágrimas de una vieja lunática.
Yo tengo que decirte la verdad.
Aquí estoy, lunaticando. Another old lady dishing out healing doses of aged poetic tears and laughter con picante. I come, handing out mega servings of delicious ambiente y dulce spice with muralista fervor. I'm here. I am here, a relic, still erect, laughing at our new age navel-staring neighbors who live trying to intellectually digest el sabor del pueblo while pricing us out of what is ours, at the cost of losing their souls and all their profits, trying to cure their too-hot-to-swallow jalapeno-induced indigestion. Y vengo, lunaticando, now an old lady, serving out huge portions of sensatez mítica, the real soul food, and heaps of poesía que me quema and ganas sin fin. My will, fortified by las lágrimas of an army of ancestors, inspired, unbending, and fully aware, our new age navel-staring neighbors may have priced some of us out of the neighborhood, but we keep coming back, lunaticando, knowing that we shall overrun, and they will never, never, ever colonize our spirit out of La Mission.
Yo tengo que decirte la verdad, aunque me parte el alma. No quiero que después me juzgues mal por pretender callarla. Yo sé que es imposible nuestro amor, porque el destino manda y tú sabrás un día perdonar esta verdad, verdad amarga. Te juro por los dos que me cuesta la vida, que sangrará la herida por una eternidad. Tal vez mañana sepas comprender que siempre fui sincero. Tal vez por alguien llegues a saber que todavía te quiero. La 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 Te juro por los dos que me cuesta la vida, que sangrará la herida por una eternidad. Tal vez mañana llegues a saber que siempre fui sincero. Tal vez por alguien llegues a saber que todavía te quiero. Te quiero. Te quiero.
I love it. Come on, give them a hand. Consuelo Velasquez. Remember that name. Now, I know that there's a couple of poets here. I know. Oh, let's see. David is here and Dan is here. Which one of you is going to do something? Well, both of you, come on. Which one is coming up here now? Come on.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, beautiful.
You want us to hand you the mic or because... Here, wait. He's handing you the mic right now. He's bringing the mic down to you. He's bringing the mic to you. This is David Kubrin.
We can give you the music stand as well. How about that?
You want the music stand?
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Move him, because move him over here so he's not in front of the speaker. Face him toward, face him that way so he's not in front of the speaker. Ay, Dios mío. Yeah, more, come this way more.
Well, one of the tragedy of my life, there's several, but my car is more famous than I am. And that's the way it worked out. And I guess I don't want to be jealous of my car, but a couple of years ago, it wouldn't pass smog. And I went through an arduous process of figuring out what was wrong. And, my sidewalk mechanic friend, at it week after week. And so I wrote this poem. It is hard to maintain hope when your car can't pass smog. The quandary of where to start on a vehicle 34 years old. A faithful ride all this time, but now the shame of my expired tags, my chin a droop to keep a low profile. It is hard to maintain hope when your car can't pass smog. The fields of my dreams amiss with blight in the reflected light due to the waylaid civil service exams. And the joker knows it's unlikely he'll get laid tonight. It is hard to maintain hope when your car can't pass smog. With the cook out to lunch, the food lacks all conviction. And I worry that time is losing its zeal. It is hard to maintain hope when your car can't pass smog. With my shrink off in Barcelona, and my watch is watching me to see my reactions now that it's running backwards, hoping to keep up with societal norms and to put the bass clef in check. It is hard to maintain hope when your car can't pass smog, when the sheep no longer bleat and the moon is on sabbatical, and when none of the questions have been granted illustrious answers, nor have any of the answers been adequately questioned.
All right, David Coburn. We only got a couple of more things. I'm grateful you folks for hanging out with me. This next
Say it finally passed.
All right. You know, there's certain people that are trying to take history out of your minds for reasons that are incomprehensible to us, but we know why they're trying to do it. And like folks know about Nat Turner, they think they know about Nat Turner. They make him sound like a real psychopath. And mostly you don't know about most of those, because every place slavery existed, there were Nat Turners. And I'm not trying to minimize his gift to history, but I think they need to give them all the credit they're due. There's one especially, the one called Yanga, who you all should know about. He was like the Nat Turner of Mexico. There is a city in Mexico called Yanga that even most Mexicans don't know about. Yeah. And the reality is now it's been gentrified. It's so expensive that the black folks in Mexico, for the most part, can't live there. And for the last time I heard, there was only one black dentist, and his family are there. But Yanga was the Nat Turner of Mexico. So I wrote a poem for him. It's called Estampas de Yanga. Estampa, like when you can see the thing, the legacy of what he left. And we're going to do this thing to pay homage to him, because I think it's dangerous to forget to remember. Very dangerous to forget to remember. And we're going to wrap it around one of my friend's beautiful poems called Pueblo, Pueblo. His songs, rather.
Pueblo, pueblo, yeah, canta tu canción, Yanga.
Estampas de Yanga. During colonial times in Mexico, unspeakable times that the powers that be have tried to erase from time, Africans far outnumbered Europeans, and to this day you can see Africa's footprint everywhere. In 1609, after many fierce rebellions, Gaspar Yanga founded the first free African township in the Americas. A town that now bears his name and still exists today, a town his descendants can no longer afford to live in. But if you're listening, you can't miss his legacy. Everywhere you turn your eyes, you'll find beautiful indigenous people playing the marimba or the marimbula. You can hear it in the wordplay of the son jarocho. Can't miss it in Mexicans playing African hand pianos in the streets. Feel it in the poetic percussive melodies of the mariachi and the wild rhythmic ecstasy of la raspa. Hear it in the intricate transplanted footwork of dancers in Coahuila in the state of Guerrero, in Tabasco and Veracruz, where even restless African spirits never stop dancing. They never stop dancing and continue to sing through indigenous mouths. Estos son los regalos de la gente afro-mexicana. Un legado interminable, a proud, unbreakable spirit. Unbreakable spirits that dance through time. They are dancing through time, waiting to be recognized. Open your eyes, open your eyes, open your eyes, see the signs. Tell their stories and keep them alive. They're always all around you, begging you to feel them. Can't you see them? They're demanding that you hear them. All you have to do is decolonize your minds and you'll see them. They're everywhere, 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 everywhere. They've been waiting a very long time for you to feel them. Estos son ecos visibles de las estampas de Yanga. Hear them. See them, hear them. Echoes you can't miss in the ever-present gifts of Yanga.
Hey, the first word of oppression is shut up. You aren't. Don't tell mommy. Don't tell the union. Calladita se ve más bonita. Shut up. You aren't. You aren't. You aren't. Oh. The first word of liberation is speak loud. Speak proud. Tell your story. Sing your song. You are. You are. You are. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, oh, oh. Pueblo, pueblo. Yeah. Ah, ah, ah. Canta tu canción. There it is, folks. Sing it with us. Oh, oh, oh. Pueblo, pueblo. There's those vowels. Ah, ah, ah. Ready? Ah, 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 canta tu canción. Sigues cruzando las fronteras y los valles, los desiertos, los ríos, cerros y canales. Solo tú sabes lo que has tenido que sufrir y así persistes construyendo un porvenir. Vamos, ready. Oh, 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 pueblo, pueblo. Canta tu canción, canta tu canción. Ah, 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 canta tu canción. Ah, desde Argentina hasta Canadá, vamos. Oh, oh, oh. Pueblo, pueblo, porque no hay muro que detenga tus ganas de amar. Ah, 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 canta tu canción. Avotcja, we gotcha, cut you got us in your heart. 84 years ago, the rain of love gave us a gift in your soul, yeah. Desde Marysville throughout the nation, oh, we have heard of Avotcja and her patience. Oh, hey, hey, ah. Oh, oh, oh. Pueblo, pueblo, pueblo tú, pueblo yo. Ah, 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 ah. Canta tu canción, porque no hay muro que detenga tus ganas de amar. Oh, oh, oh. Pueblo, pueblo, ni violencia que detenga tu libertad. Ah, ah, ah. Canta tu canción. Oh, te veo vendiendo naranjas y sandías debajo de los freeways día a día, sembrando flores, cosechando amores, haciendo vida por donde quiera que va. ¡Vamos! Oh, oh, oh. Pueblo, pueblo, thank you, Avotcja, for being the gift you are. Ah, ah, ah. Canta tu canción. You are the shining star in our hearts. Oh, 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 oh. Pueblo, pueblo. Ah, ah, ah. Canta tu canción. Como el agua, como el aire, regresas a tu hogar. Oh, oh, oh. Pueblo, pueblo. Gran Anahuac, Turtle Island, Pachamama, Aslan. Hey, yeah. Canta tu canción.
Yeah. almost at the end here, folks. Wow, I love that tune. And Yanga, there's Ethiopians have a beautiful saying. I love it, Dicho. They say, the Ethiopians say that your most formidable adversary, they say the most formidable adversary is an ancestor ignored. Ooh. So we want to make sure that Yanga and all of the Yangas and the Harriet Tubmans and, all of these folks, we remember them, and we can go around the world. Like, they don't mention the slavery that happened in Ireland. That's a whole nother story. The slavery of Irish that's what the fight that's still happening in Ireland is about, that folks don't want to pay any attention to, but that's a whole nother situation. Anyway, since we're getting close to the end here, Dan Brady, he and I, his nephew married my niece, so I guess it brought the whole family tree down. But so anyway, what you got for us? Okay. You need some help?
No. Well, that's a
yeah. Okay, Superman. Oh, see, my papa used to say the only thing that Superman or Superwoman got for their efforts was a hernia. And he scared me to death up there, climbing up that way. Anyway, but you're there.
All right. This sounds good. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You sound perfect.
So now I'm relaxed. I knew I bumped something. All right. So I usually say this about poets and poetry, but it applies to musicians and music, and her over there. And it's this. When a poet speaks, the words do not remain where they are spoken. I mean, you can't hear the words out, 50 feet, 60 feet in front of the door. But the words don't stop ever. They never stop. The music never stops. It goes on and on and on. It is eternal. To the extent that the words or the music or the heart touches the truth, it becomes part of the truth with a capital T. The truth outlasts universes. They come and go. The truth does not. So, why hold back, I tell people. Say what you need to say. Give us your truth while you have our ears. Anyway, so this is a poem about her. I have a different one, but I don't want to go on. Okay. The title, Avotcja. What does one say? What does one say about a force of nature, a heart as big as hyperbole may allow, a synonym for love and respect, or one who has worked the long, hard roads from can't see to can't see? How does one describe her as a human being, a soul dedicated to expressing the eternal, a keeper of the flame, a harbor of wisdom, or someone who metes out justice with the word? Whatever wants and wishes brought her into this world originally, and thence to this time, to this place, here in this very intimate now, where we are fortunate enough to be, matters only in retrospect. What can you say of an eyewitness whose heart will testify before the muse, the all-encompassing universe, God, and however one names it, here before us now for the record and before all humankind and all time? How to introduce someone whose deep sense of humor and yearning for justice has her rail on the offenders by name, chastising them in a manner fit to entertain the gods? Who has made music of the voice of music, who will hold forth here, who has held forth here, who will hold forth here, with but one intent unifying all her efforts. One idea, one plan, one vision, speaking her truth so simply as to get it across one more time. Now, we, she and I, are relatives, relatively speaking. And while I don't speak relative and must make do with the King's English, as my mom used to call it, I find I have gone on far too long and must leave off this praiseworthy effort at praise. Why should we wait for another moment before hearing a voice whose echoes strain the infinite, breach the eternal, and does so lovingly, all within the precious body of our perfect hearts? And so, this inadequate brief may provide you, dear listener, with some idea of the scope, the sequence, the reality of a renowned guardian of the word, Avotcja.
Wow.
That's my simple thing of praise.
Blame it on the company I keep. Wow. You know what? I'm gonna this poem that we're gonna do here is I wrote a thing a little. You know, everybody, we get these ideas and you never can finish it. And I don't know how many of you know Dilcia Pagan was one of the Puerto Rican prisoners of war. And her crime was that she would not open her mouth and squeal on other folks. And they kept her in prison in the club, they called it the Rape Club in Dublin, California. None of which the people have gone to prison, even though they admit that they did what they did now. Anyway, she was there for a couple of decades. And she and I became friends. She was in the Bay Area for a little while. We became friends. And even though we were from the same neighborhood in New York, I didn't meet her until she came out here. And we maintained a friendship. And I had written this little thing. It was almost like a dicho, a little tiny saying kind of thing, and I could never finish it. And we were talking on the phone not too long before she passed then. And somehow the topic came up about, was it worth it, what she had to go through to become who she was? And she started talking about the magic of the island. Now, I know that, how many people in here speak Spanish? Probably only one or two, okay. But I want you to listen to the music of the words. Now, there's a little tiny frog in Puerto Rico. It's called the coqui. And it doesn't sound like these frogs you have here that croak and make these horrible noises. It's a beautiful singing sound that it has. And for folks from the Caribbean, it's like magic. It's like, everybody loves it. The tourists think, oh, when they first come, oh, this is so nice, it's so quaint. They can't stand it because it won't shut up. The coqui goes no matter what time, any day. And it's this little teeny weeny tiny thing. Little tiny thing. And it's just amazing. And when she started talking about the magic of the island and the coqui, which we both love, I've probably written more about the coqui than anything else. It made this poem come to be. The poem itself in English means ofrenda. I have not been able to translate it poetically yet, but eventually it will. And we're going to wrap it around a tune that was written by Don Rafael Hernandez, who, Afro-Boricua composer, Lamento Borincano, and I love what he does on his voice on this particular one. So we're going to read to you this one, Ofrenda, with Lamento Borincano, and hope you'll be able to feel the magic of the island and the coqui.
Nace, sale, loco de contento, con su cargamento para la ciudad, ay, para la ciudad.
Ofrenda. Con el amanecer besando mi párpado, me levanto, abrazando el nuevo día, una aventura más de nuevo, a la vez despertando un soniqueto musical, un ritual fanfarrón, pero espiritual. Adentro el canto del coqui, 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 y su sinfonía borinqueña, coqui, coqui. Chiquitito guía íntimo es su sonido sagrado que mantengo en el alma con Pai Coqui, es tu voz, es la medicina mágica de tu voz, el sonido de tu voz increíble y la presencia de tu ser invencible que me encanta, Coqui, Coqui. Es tu voz siempre llamándome, eres tú. Cada día de mi existencia, proclamando mi ofrenda diaria, coqui, coqui. Tu canto inconfundible me levanta. Tu voz es un sancocho crío hecho de lágrimas, orgullo y un poder sin igual, chiquitito mago coquí. Es tu voz incomparable, tu voz inolvidable, tu canto es un himno nacional que me da la fuerza de continuar, coquí. Este poema es mi canto, mi ofrenda de alabanza, un poema de nacido en la cuna de tu milagroso cantar. Es mi declaración de la belleza en la magia irrefrenable de tu canto, algo nuevo, sazonado con orgullo a Dios, amor ayer, mañana y palabras encantadas escrito en los huesos. Esto es mi ofrendita, un pedacito de lo eterno y mi sangre, y un regalito de un montón de gracias para liberar a los ancestros y mi propio alma. Compay coquí, chiquitito tesoro mítico, tu canto es la personificación de un amor que nunca morirá, y la belleza de tu canto irrefrenable. Es tu fuerza más grande de la colonización y tú eres la fuerza de nadie, que nadie puede negar. Siempre eres tú y tu presencia imparable, chiquitito, compay coquí, símbolo nacional. Tú eres el corazón de la isla que me encanta.
Sale loco de contento con su cargamento para la ciudad, ay, para la ciudad. Lleva en su pensamiento todo el mundo lleno de felicidad, ay, de felicidad. Piensa remediar la situación, ese hogar que es toda su ilusión, sí, y alegre el jibarito va pensando así, diciendo así, cantando así por el camino. Si yo vendo la carga, mi Dios querido, un traje a mi viejita voy a comprar, y alegre también su yegua va al presentir que este cantar es todo un himno de alegría. De pronto lo sorprende la luz del día y llegan al mercado de la ciudad.
Coquí, coquí, sing for me, coquí, sing for me, coquí, 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 coquí.
Pasa la mañana entera sin que nadie quiera su carga comprar, ay, su carga comprar. Todo está desierto, el pueblo está muerto de necesidad, ay, de necesidad. Si oyen los lamentos por doquier de mi desdichado fachada borinquen sí. Y triste el jibarito va pensando así, diciendo así, llorando así por el camino. ¿Qué será de Borinquen, mi Dios querido? ¿Qué será de mis hijos y de mi hogar? Borinquen, la tierra del Edén, la que al cantar el gran Gautier llamó la perla de los mares. Ahora que tú te mueres en tus pesares, déjame que te cante yo también.
Francisco Hererra, Val Serrant, Heshima Markk Williams. My name is Avotcja, and all these amazing, wonderful poets that you've been hearing tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being my friends and keeping the arts alive. Please keep supporting this bookstore and supporting each other, because right now that's the only way we're going to get through this. Support each other and hang on to each other like white on rice.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Avotcja. Happy birthday to you.
You're gonna make me cry.
Ooh, yeah.
Thank you so much. And Eric, thank you for keeping us alive with all of this wonderful space.